Awesome.
Yeah, I don't think it got above freezing today here.
This album feels like it's got more of a clean vibe to it. Cleaner vocals, a little more polished, for lack of better
Sure.
wording. Yeah?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Was that a conscious effort on your behalf?
No, we didn't really set out to do that. I think maybe it's a little bit of a result of Ross Robinson, the producer, really made us focus on vocals,
Right.
and that's always been kind of the last thing we ever do with songs. We always write the music first, and then the vocals are kind of the last thing to get added. So maybe they're just not that they're an afterthought, but they're. But with Ross, we spent a lot of time working on the vocals and talking about what the song was about and why we were doing the song and like what does the song mean. And we never really focused on that before, so maybe it's just kind of came out of that.
Right.
We focused on vocals more. I don't actually sing, so it's Brian and Aaron, but yeah, probably just from the process that we did with Ross.
Okay. Can we talk a bit about your early days before even Sargent House? How you guys met?
Oh, sure.
Some of those, those first EPs, those first songs.
Yeah. We well, so me and John, the drummer, we both grew up in North Carolina, and I was in bands and he was in bands, and then at some point we started playing together in a band called the Mercury Birds, and that was like 97, 98 or something like that, and then he moved out to Portland, and then I also moved out to Portland, but in the time when he moved out there, he started playing with Brian, who was in Last of the Juanitas, and they were in this band called Party Time, and I moved into the same house as them, and I would listen to them practice, and I was like, oh man, it sounds so good, and then they asked if I wanted to be in the band, so then it was me, John, Brian, and a couple other guys in that band, and then at some point, that band disbanded because Brian moved to San Diego for a minute, and then me and John and Aaron started playing, and we never played any shows, but we wrote a bunch of songs, and then Brian moved back into town, and that was the beginning of Red Fang. We took some of those songs that we had been working on, and then Brian had some other stuff, and we just all, I guess, partially because me and John had played together, and then me and John and Brian all lived together, and we all liked a lot of the same stuff, and so we just started. That's kind of was the beginning of it. Yeah.
Right on. Is there a moment in time or an event that you can reflect on as being instrumental to the success of Red Fang?
I think probably our first video really helped us a lot. The videos have been really good for us, so I'm pretty sure when that video came out, it just got a lot of eyes on us that might not have seen us otherwise, because it had humor in there, and so people were maybe sharing the video even if they didn't really care about the music. They're like, oh, you got to check out this funny video, and then hopefully they also liked the song. So I think the video was definitely a turning point for us. They've been really good for us. Yeah.
Now I enjoy a lot of the comic book references that Red Fang has in the videos. 1, 2, 3, or 4 of you all into that sort of genre?
None of us are like super into comics, but yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've read a few. Brian's what was he reading recently? He was reading some graphic novel recently. I'm not going to think of the name. Yeah, not really huge comics fans, but and actually a lot of the video stuff, the concepts and everything, that's the director. So a lot of it comes from him, Whitey McConaughey.
Okay.
And so yeah, we were more focused on the songs, and he brings us an idea, and we're usually like, that's awesome, we love it, and he just kind of exaggerates who we are, kind of makes us larger than life.
Okay.
But yeah, so a lot of the stuff that's in the video, it's more from the director Whitey than from us.
Cool.
But, yeah.
I laughed when I saw the Big League Chew in Shadows. I didn't even know they still made that stuff. So
yeah.
It's kind of funny to see it get popped out and used as a prop.
Yeah.
And it's made me wonder how much of that old candy from back in the day still even exists.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's wild. I didn't even know what Bedstock was until I saw that clip of you guys a couple of weeks ago. So I've had a look at the website, and it's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah,
really,
it's great.
And nice to be involved with it.
Yeah.
How were you approached to even do that?
Well, the producer of our previous 2 albums, not our latest one, Chris Funk. He's in the band The Decemberists, and he produced our last 2 records. And he, I don't know, he's connected with Bedstock somehow. I'm not sure how he got introduced to it. But so he's the way we got connected. He asked us if we would like to participate, and yeah, it just seemed like a good idea, and a good idea, and also just a nice thing to do, for kids who are bed bound, or whatever the right word for that is. But yeah, Chris Funk is the one who got us connected to that. And yeah, we got our post on Facebook got something like 2,000 shares, like really fast, which is cool. Which is a lot for our posts. So I was like, wow, this is doing really well. And I think they did really well this year. I don't know how long it's been going on, but I think they raised like $50,000 or something.
Good for them, man. That's
really
awesome.
Good. Yeah, it's nice to help out kids.
I'm also digging the coloring book idea, which still has a week left to go. I believe.
Yeah.
So there's been some interesting colors and comments.
Yeah.
People are changing the dialogue around on some of the word balloons.
Yeah, I liked that too. That was, I guess that idea came from, maybe it was from Bob at the label. He's like the guy who does a lot of our press stuff. And at least I think that's where that came from. But we were instantly like, yeah, this is great. And I actually hadn't colored anything in a long time, but it was really nice. It was fun to do. It was kind of like almost meditative. Know, to just sit and I did one of them, but yeah.
That seems to be really in vogue right now, the adult coloring book.
I've seen those with the like the mandala coloring books and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Every descriptor that I've ever read attached to Red Fang is Stoner Rock. You guys must be cool with that descriptor. Yeah,
I mean, we don't limit ourselves to just that, but there's definitely some elements of that. We like all kinds of stuff. When people ask me, what does your band sound like? I usually just say heavy rock or hard rock.
Right.
But yeah, stoner rock. I mean, there's some punk rock in there. There's all kinds of stuff in there. I mean, the bands that we were in before were a lot more mathy, even.
Yeah.
Like Brian was in a band, Last of the Juanitas. And I was in Shiny Beast, and they were. I mean, it was weird, like intentionally weird. Like not doing 4/4 time signatures and just being dissonant on purpose. And for Red Fang, we kind of decided, well, let's just keep it simple, but there is still some elements of weirdness in there. So yeah. I mean, we get called stoner rock all the time, and there are that fits for part of it, but I don't think that's all we do. And we don't try to be a certain style. So we're not like when we write stuff, we're not thinking like, oh, we got to write a stoner rock song. We just write what we like. So yeah.
Also, no lineup changes. What keeps you guys bonded as a band 11 years in?
Yeah, we're just we get along musically and as friends, and it's just worked out. I don't think if somebody had to quit the band, I don't know if we would continue as Red Fang, because it's the 4 of us that do it. Yeah, I don't know. We're just we get along good, in the band and outside of the band, and I think that's hard for a lot of people to find a group of people that, spend a lot of time just in a van together, and somehow it just works. Yeah, we just get along. We're just good friends and good musical mates. So, yeah.
On the topic of camaraderie, let's talk a little bit about Torch and Whores. It feels like that family's a little more open here.
Yeah.
You all seem to be having a good time.
Yeah, we're really happy to have these guys with us, because I like both their bands. Torch and Whores, I think, are amazing, and we were really happy that everybody was able to do this tour. It is really nice. Everybody's really cool as people, and their bands are great too. So it's nice.
When it comes to writing your material, do you find that you guys have a litmus test where something's working or something is not working?
Yeah, I don't know if I think about it. Like in a scientific way or whatever. There's not really one main songwriter. We all will bring in bits and pieces, maybe a couple of riffs, and then as a band we arrange them into the song. And I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some kind of moment when we're like, that's awesome. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if that can, there's not like a formula for it exactly.
Right.
The same as there's not like you can't just hit a button and a song pops out. It just kind of has to come to you. So
Yeah.
we just mess with ideas that we all bring in, and sometimes though it's hard to know when a song is done. Like we have a few ideas that have been bouncing around like since the early days for like well, not quite 10 years, but almost, like parts of songs that we still try to fit into a song or still try to make an arrangement out of, and we just can't quite get it. So
Right.
sometimes it's hard to finally say that's done, that's it. But yeah, I don't know. We just play with it until we like it, basically. Yeah.
Cool. What would you say is one of your deepest Red Fang songs? A deep cut, like lyrically or emotionally?
Well, I didn't write this one, or I didn't write the lyrics. I wrote, basically me and Aaron wrote Wires.
Okay.
Part of that song is a riff that I came up with, and the other part is a riff that Aaron came up with. And I really like the lyrics that Aaron wrote. It's kind of about, I mean, Aaron would be a better person to speak on this, but
Right.
it's about a cat that he had that died just before his son was being born. And it's kind of about, the cat passing and a new life coming, and some other stuff. I don't even know exactly what all he's talking about in there, but I think that song speaks to a lot of people. It also talks about a son being away from his mother, and yeah, so I think that one is pretty deep. And even Prehistoric Dog, for me, just has, even though it's lyrically, it's just sort of a fantasy thing.
Right.
It's about dogs from outer space. But I don't know, something about that one, it just works really well. So, but yeah, I think probably Wires as far as like emotional stuff. Although there was a lot in the new album, there's a lot of emotional stuff in there. And we like to leave the interpretation up to the listener. So a lot of times people will ask Brian and Aaron, like, "Oh, what's this song about?" And they're like, "Well, it's kind of whatever you get
Right.
from it. We don't want to prescribe what they're supposed to get from it." But yeah,
I can't listen to the smell of the sand without thinking of Duran Duran, because that lyric is so prominent in Hungry Like a Wolf, right?
Oh, right.
So it's always like,
I didn't even think
what does
about
that
that.
even
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Kinda
Yeah,
funny.
actually, that the smell of the sound has double meaning, because it's about this. Well, it's about the sound, just as sounds, but it's also about the sound as in the ocean.
Right.
So anyway, yeah.
Cool. You must have many favorite moments in Red Fang. Two of mine are Mastodon and Dillinger Escape Plan. You guys all
Oh,
came
yeah,
out
that
and
was
did
great.
Creature Lives at the end of that tour.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that
Was
was
it-
really fun.
They weren't dropping that song very often in their
Yeah.
set, so you were part of something pretty special there, tour-wise, and
It was great to tour with them. Yeah, it was a really good opportunity for us, and they were super nice to us. We had done, I guess, one larger tour with Clutch before that, but that was like a big step for us to get to open for Mastodon, and they were great to us. Just super friendly guys, super generous. Yeah, it was awesome. It was really nice.
usually when people ask me what you sound like, I say Clutch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Another band with no lineup change either.
Oh, yeah.
And the second moment would be seeing you at Orion Festival, the first Orion Festival down in Jersey.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
That was awesome, and kind of nerve-wracking, because I didn't realize that James Hetfield was going to... He actually came and talked to us for a minute right before we played, and then he introduced us.
Right?
And so I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, James Hetfield's over there while we're
Yeah.
playing. I'm like, was this, heavy enough or whatever?
Yeah, right.
I was overthinking things because James Hetfield was right there, because he's one of my heroes. But yeah, that was really awesome to get to do that as well.
And not just, it wasn't just their festival. They like you said, they curated it. They came around.
There was a
and made
lot
sure
of cool
that,
bands.
some
Yeah.
bands with really one album out were getting introduced.
Yeah.
And shepherded in really
Yeah.
to do the set, which I think is just a phenomenal
It is
thing.
really cool, yeah.
It's really too bad it only lasted 2 years.
Yeah, maybe they'll do it again.
I don't know. I don't think it made money for them, but I
Oh.
think they love doing it. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll love doing it and they'll bring it back
Yeah.
somehow. It was great. The diversity of bands that
Yeah.
showed up on that bill, and they really sort of ratcheted in a lot of cool hard rock. So
Yeah,
it would be great.
it was cool to be part of that.
Awesome. Well, listen, I think the new album's phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'm digging the sort of cleanliness and like you said, sharpening up of the lyrics, and it's a really concise album. So
Yeah, thanks.
I'm looking forward to hearing it live tonight.
All right, yeah, we're playing a lot of it actually. Yeah.
Cool. Cheers.
All right,
Okay.
thanks. Nice
Appreciate
to
it.
talk to you.
How you doing?